What is up, fellas? JPS delivers here. We are still hearing those chants from Iowa, shitty walk, as the fans are still, well, probably distasteful to say that they're rioting right now, but they're definitely celebrating a well-deserved win against Penn State with Jerry Sandusky and the boys. This is Madden 2006. This is the Aints, the New Orleans Saints. They aren't the Aints right now because we're right now in playoff position. Believe we have already clinched playoff positioning. However, though, it is now the point to see if there's a good chance we could find ourselves with a bye or not. It's the last game of the season. We have lost 4 straight games. Those were all simulated. Lost 4 straight games. Deuce McAllister is out with injury. The Buccaneers. This is a weird team. It's a weird team. They have 2 beasts with Michael Strahan and I believe it was John Abraham, both sides of the defensive line, and a pretty good D tackle in Mr. Simon right here. It will not be Simon Says like old FIFA games, but that could be. I mean, let me know if y'all want to see some FIFA games with British commentary and stuff like that. On top of it, custom commentary. Please let me know. But this is, I mean, just like we saw, what I'd have to say, which is fortunate recording it, was pretty much the best, not my best game technically, because, you know, we didn't absolutely shit on this team, Penn State and stuff like that. But it was literally the best game I've been a part of. It was the most competitive game I've ever been. I mean, holy shit, like, even playing friends and stuff, I've never played a game that intense, and fortunately enough, pulled off a nice win. This is another great game, really is. It makes perfect sense, considering these are 2 teams, and then you go setting it up. Drew Bledsoe, this team isn't, like, amazingly rated on offense, but they were starting the game off red hot. Their defense played pretty well at the beginning, too. Speaking of, nice interception by Adam Archuleta right there. The cousin of David Archuleta from American Idol, but it's a different story. Different story. Doesn't matter here. Well, it sort of does, because he's singing his way almost to the end zone on that interception, but he is going to help his team get to the end zone. That is now 14-0. This Buccaneers team came to just absolutely bone us at the beginning, but hey, I said it was a great game, right? Another great game. Fortunately, I mean, that's a cool thing. We've seen this Saints team beat the living shit out of a Tony Romo Packers team, and it just wasn't. It wasn't pretty to watch. It was pretty to play, I'll tell you that. But look, it's not pretty to watch this offense and how this team's been controlling the game from their offense, and their defense has played well. Just to add on to, you know, pretty much pour some salt and lemon in the wound right there. As this doesn't seem like much of a battle so far. This team's absolutely dumping on my Saints team. Fortunately enough, we did get a decent amount of sacks. Really trying to get Aaron Brooks involved in the game, because unfortunately Deuce McAllister, he's out. And also, too, the fullback redeems himself later. But my God, dude, fucking make that catch. What is with him? Toby Gerhart. You know, Toby Gerhart's basically become a fullback. So, but what is with these motherfuckers? They're wide open. I don't care if their catch rating is fucking like 40. They're wide open. We don't need that shit. And then, bam. That should have been caught, but I mean, Drew Bledsoe looked really fucking dumb at the beginning of that play anyways. And speaking of dumb, the angle I took right there with the best middle linebacker in football at the time, well, between him and Ray Lewis, but, you know, Brian Urlacher definitely made a point for himself to be made about the argument and the debate for best middle linebacker for a couple, probably several of those seasons, half a decade. I mean, we think about Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis, he's amazing. It's fucking Ray Lewis. But at the same time, you're sitting there, and you're like, dude, Brian Urlacher was a fucking beast. Meathead was a fucking beast. And he went to fucking, you know, Ray Lewis is kind of like at that era that he was drafted. You got Andre Johnson. You got Vince Wilfork coming out. You got Andre Johnson. Said that twice, holy shit. You got Kellen Winslow, Kellen Winslow was seen automatically as a rookie to be amazing. And then, you know, apparently he was amazing at assaulting women. But that's a different story, folks. That's a different story. But you got Willis McGahee. You got Clinton Portis. You got Philip Buchanan that came out of Miami, Sean Taylor. I mean, all these dudes. I mean, that's just a third of the dudes that you can think of in that era. He's expected to be a boss, but out of nowhere, Brian Urlacher. I mean, hey, he was a good player overall, anyways. But I'm just saying, just like from where he came from, New Mexico, compared to a middle linebacker, part of really good Miami teams. I think Brian Urlacher made a hell of a career for himself. Hall of Famer, obviously, but that's that jump. You get that underdog feel, as I can tell you what. Didn't become very long for Brian Urlacher to make mince meat out of other underdogs. He was no longer the underdog. And speaking of a guy that was never really an underdog, but yet he became a one because of the Hall of Fame. T.O. right there, representing for us. T.O., one of the, top 3, top 5 wide receivers of all time. I mean, it's just stupid as shit that this is a game that is, stop with the character shit, okay? Y'all stop giving a shit with the Colin Kaepernick thing and everything like that, okay? Not going to get political, but I'm just saying, in itself, who gives a fuck about the character? I mean, as long as, did we ever hear about T.O. ever? Did T.O. ever? I mean, please comment. Let me know if T.O. ever did anything like assault, sexual assault, pulled a Darren Sharper. Definitely didn't do that. I don't think anybody, I don't think many people have pulled a Darren Sharper in the NFL. At least I think Darren Sharper's the one who's taken one of the harshest sentences. He is currently in prison, folks. Or is he out because of COVID? I don't know. But I'm just kidding. But just also too, is that Brian Urlacher, I'm going on a rant about this, but there we go. But the game's gotten better. Hopefully it's distracted. This comeback has been distracted by me. And then speaking of absolute beasts, an older player on this team, about 31, 32 years old. You can't pass up on a Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson getting it done, showcasing why he won the Heisman as the only defensive player to ever win Heisman. Ndamukong Suh got close. And Ndamukong Suh really showcased himself against Texas in that Big 12 championship. But, some questionable calls in order to get Texas the national title, only for them to fucking lose. Come on. Was it really worth it at that point? I don't know. But there we go. Setting it up. Nice little pass to T.O. right there. 17 all at this point. And honestly, this green guy, we just picked him up. Looking at the roster, we only had one active running back. Even our backup, I believe Chris Perry is his name. Even he was injured, and there you go. Now we're up, baby. Look at that. That fucking firepower. You got a pick six from one of the best playmakers on the defensive end of all fucking time with Charles Woodson. One of the best playmakers of all time in T.O. And then, can we say the best tight end statistically ever? Antonio Gates. You could make an argument with those touchdowns. Hey, it's a tight end. You got the likes of Tony Gonzalez, Aussie Newsome. Did I connect that? Well, I don't know. But a nice connection right there. Drew Bledsoe was really playing hot on this one. But we picked up this green guy, and he played a hell of a game, actually. And speaking of making up for himself, this fullback, we ripped off a couple of 5 to 10 yard runs, which I think is the equivalent of a 20, 30 yard run by a running back is a 5-10 yard fullback dive. They weren't expecting it. I don't know why they weren't anticipating it. But hey, that ain't my fucking problem. Especially when I'm marching down the field on 3rd and inches and getting it done and getting an extra fucking 9 yards. Hey, this is where it fucking matters, folks. This is the fucking last game of the season. This is playoff positioning. Not only that, folks, it's playoff positioning amongst the division as well. We can see if either one of our teams can get a bye. Also, too, T.O. wasn't amazing in this game. He had 2 touchdowns. Still had a great deal of yards. Antonio Gates had an impressive game, too. It was just utilizing your best players. That's all it was, baby. That's all it was, baby. That's all it is, baby. We're just utilizing our best players on this team. Antonio Gates was just balling off. And here we go, a second touchdown. I know T.O. dropped that one. I was complaining about it. But T.O. got it done eventually, as he always does. All right, so shut the fuck up with this.
oh, he's not gonna make the Hall of Fame because, man, I don't want to see him wear a gold jacket. His personality wasn't golden.
No, you can take a golden dildo up the ass. I don't give a fuck. Shut the fuck up. I'm tired of fucking people talking like that shit like they know what the fuck they're talking about. Yeah, well, when you run a 4.340, when you start doing, 17, or how many fucking yards did this man have in his entire career? I mean, he easily had over 100 touchdowns over his entire career and easily had 10,000 receiving yards. And he also had 100 push-ups in an interview in his driveway. That's the TO you gotta love. You gotta love, too, Mr. Cody. Mr. Chody, the rookie, moved from outside linebacker from Nebraska to the defensive end position for our team. We're up 31-24. Looks like we're going to win this game. I mean, looks like we're going to win this game. We're making our way. Hey, just get some points on the board, and you can just make your way. Fucking shit, man. This is like the whole, I changed the sliders for accuracy to be a little bit more realistic. Don't want to make every field goal. I don't want the computer to make every field goal, y'all. That's not fucking realistic. Especially nowadays, dude. It seems like half the kickers, it's like Make-A-Wish Foundation for these NFL kickers. Like, they're, oh, yeah, I guess you can make a roster. We'll do every other one. Yeah, seriously. But, and then, of course, that shit happens. I'm over here ranting, but clutch-ass play. We're in overtime, y'all. You know how much this fucking means? We're making the playoffs anyways. But we have Deuce McAllister injured. There's a possibility he could be questionable. He would be doubtful for the wild card round, and that could have been Pac-Man Jones getting the interception right there. It's a 3-and-out by them. Here we go. Now, Aaron Brooks making his way down, but the booth is going to review the spot of the ball out of bounds. They gave him a first down. I believe they gave him a first down. We'll have to see. Let's see what it is. Or maybe, no, it was a first down. Incomplete on the first down at 10, but then a pass out to Antonio Gates. Or no, not Antonio Gates. The backup running back Gates. Then Fleming does his job right there, getting a nice job of running down the ball. Mr. Gates with a nice run right there. Green had an impressive game, and then Gates came in and really showcased right there. Look, what a fucking run. That guy's 69 overall, and he came to play. He was fresh, y'all. The dude was fresh dressed, and he was looking like $1 million walking into that end zone. Look at those fans right there. You deserve to fucking watch your team lose if you're going to wear a fucking football on top of your fucking head. At least a pirate hat makes sense. I know technically you'd be like, oh, why wouldn't a football on your head make sense? Because I don't care if it's a football game. It still doesn't fucking make sense to me. It looks stupid. Just looks stupid. Looks more stupid than John Gruden's fucking visor. Okay? That didn't he already have a small forehead, or does he have a big forehead? I don't know. But there we go. We're going to have to see the results of whether or not we have a bye in towards the divisional round in the playoffs. If not, we're going to have ourselves a wild card game, and it's going to be an important man down. Look at that impressive game on the offense by our guys, and really it wasn't that many yards for the amount of points that were scored. But fuck the Buccaneers, 4 sacks, Vegeta right there with 3 of his own. It was a great game, another great game. I'm glad these games have been really close. It just means that much more. As always, fellas, be grateful for everything that comes to you, and see you next video.